let's take a look at area of trapezoids. So we talked about this at the beginning of the unit, but we're going to remind you what qualifies something as a parallelogram. So a quadrilateral with one pair of parallel sides is a trapezoid versus a parallelogram has two parallel sides, sets of parallel sides. So looking at this, I'm going to highlight those sides here. The top and the bottom of this parallelogram of this trapezoid are parallel. The left and right are not. They would intersect. For this second one, the top and the bottom are their parallel sides. The left and right side would eventually intersect. Versus this one kind of tilted. The left and right are the parallel ones. The top and bottom would eventually intersect. So since they just have one set of parallel sides, they are just a trapezoid, not a parallelogram. So finding the area of a trapezoid, we are going to use triangles to do this. So we're going to draw a line connecting the corner of one trapezoid to the opposite corner. And this will split it into two triangles. And we know how to find the area of triangles because we've already been doing that. And then just like we were doing before, for all of our shapes, we are finding the perpendicular height of each triangle. And then find those areas and add them all together for the total area of the trapezoid. So let's look at trapezoid number 1 here. Just like I've done for the other shapes, I'm going to identify the height first. I think that is easiest. So I see this dotted line here. I'm going to highlight that. That is my height, okay? And then I'm going to divide up this shape. So I'm going to pick kind of one corner versus the other. It doesn't matter which ones you choose. I'm going to kind of do it the same way each time. And I'm going to just draw a little line through the two. Now we have triangle number 1 here and triangle number 2 here. So both of these triangles are going to have the same height that we identified, but I'm going to identify the bases for each of these. So the bases, well, one, it should be where our perpendicular height connects, and that might be easy to see on the bottom here. And if the bottom is one of the parallel sides, the top is going to be the other parallel side, okay? But our two parallel sides should be those bases. So this shape has 4 sides. Because it only has one set of parallel sides, we know that it is a trapezoid, not a parallelogram. So we're going to calculate the area of triangle number 1, remembering, and I'll write this up here, the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. So we're doing area equals our base for triangle number 1. We've got this base of 5 times the height that we highlighted here of 4 all over 2. So I'm going to plug this in. 5 times 4 is 20. So it's going to be 20 divided by 2, which is 10. Now I'm going to do the same thing for triangle number 2. The base that I highlighted in pink here is 11 times that height, as we said, is going to be the same for both, 4 divided by 2. So I will calculate that. 11 times 4 is 44. So it'll be 44 divided by 2, which is 22. And you'll notice we did not use these slanted sides. They're not part of our area. And then our total area, we're just going to add. We had 10 for the first one, plus 22 for the second triangle, equals a total of 32. Our units are centimeters squared. Let's try it again. So looking at number 2. How many sides are on this shape? 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. There's only one set of parallel sides, so it is a trapezoid. I'm going to identify my perpendicular height. And that's going to be perpendicular to the two bases. Base 1, base 2. And when we're finding the area, I'm going to go from one corner to the next to divide that up. So we've got triangle number 1 that I'm going to calculate first. So our area equals our base times height. So the base of triangle number 1 is this base up here, 12, times that perpendicular height in purple of 11 divided by 2. So I'm going to calculate 12 times 11 is 132 divided by 2 equals 66. Now let's look at triangle number 2. Same formula, area equals base times height. The base of this one, this bottom triangle, is this bottom parallel side of 18 times the perpendicular height is the same for both, 11 over 2. So I'm going to plug in 18 times 11 is 198 divided by 2 gives us 99. So I'm going to add these two together. The first triangle was 66. The second triangle was 99. That gives us a total of 165 yards squared. All right, looking at number 3. These ones are a little bit sideways, but it still should work. I'm going to count my sides. 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. We don't have 2 sets of parallel sides, we only have 1, so it is a trapezoid. I'm going to identify those heights and those parallel sides. So I have my perpendicular height in that dotted line there. And it is attached to the 2 parallel sides, one on the left, one on the right. And then I'm going to divide up my sheet. So, doesn't matter what corner you go from. I'm going to go from the top here to the bottom. So we've got triangle 1 on the left here. For that triangle, we're doing base times height. So my parallel side is my base, and that's 12, times the perpendicular height highlighted in purple, which is 27 over 2. So I'm going to calculate 12 times 27 is 324, divided by 2 is 162. Let's try the same thing for triangle number 2, which is kind of on the right side here. We are plugging in our base, which is going to be the other parallel side here of 46 with the same perpendicular height of 27. So 46 is our base times our height of 27 divided by 2. Going to plug that in. I get 1,242 divided by 2 equals 621. And then our total area, I'm going to add these two together. 162 plus 621 equals 783 meters squared. All right, let's do one more. Counting my sides, 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. These two sides are not parallel, only these two are. So there's one set of parallel sides, which makes it a trapezoid. I'm gonna identify those heights and those parallel sides. So this one's a little bit tricky. The rest of them have all had a dotted line to show us the height. This one doesn't. I do see my 90-degree symbol here, so I know that one of those measures, 7 or 18, is the height. So instead, what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to identify the parallel sides first. 7 is not parallel to the 12.5. They're not going the same direction. So in this one, the left side is parallel to the right side, which tells me my perpendicular height is 7. I'm going to divide my shape into 2 triangles, starting with triangle number 1, plugging in. Our base is this parallel side, which is 15, times the perpendicular height of 7 divided by 2. Plug in, 15 times 7 is 105, divided by 2 equals 52.5. And then we're going to look at triangle number 2. Same thing, we are looking for the parallel side is one of our bases, 18, times that same perpendicular height of 7 divided by 2. So 18 times 7 is 126, divided by 2, is 63. So for our total area, I'm going to add these two together. We have 52.5 plus 63, which gives us a total of 115.5 feet squared. And there you go.